Hello everyone, welcome to the wastewater engineering subject. In today's session we will discuss about the chapter number 2nd, activated sludge process or sludge treatment process, right? Chapter number 2. First of all, the basic concept regarding the activated sludge process that we will discuss. So activated sludge process, which is known as ASP, is the most versatile biological process available to designer for the treatment of almost any type of wastewater. And basically it is the anaerobic suspended growth type biological process that use the active microorganism kept in the suspension time. Okay, so basically in this process we are using the active microbiologics which is kept or put in the suspensions, right, in the reactor to decompose the stabilizer and the soluble particulate, or we can say colloidals and suspended organic matter present in the wastewater. The suspended active biomass is called activated sludge. Okay, activated sludge means the suspended biomass, right, that is known as activated sludge. That is the simple definition of activated sludge. Activated sludge is the suspended active biomass is known as activated sludge, right, and is measured in the terms of mixed liquor volume suspended solid. Okay, and that is measured in which terms? Mixed liquor was volatile suspended solid, which is abbreviation is MLVSS, and the process essentially has two distinct functions, namely synthesis of new cells and stabilization of organic substance. Okay, so that process has two functions. First is synthesis of new cell and then stabilization of organic matter, or we can say oxidation of organic matters. That is the two functions. Now to operate the process the continuous basis, the biomass solid generated in the aeration tank is separated and thickened in the secondary clarifier by the gravity settling. Okay, so here we are using the gravity settling, right? So what will happen? So the process as a continuous manner, right? So the materials, that biomass material solid will generate in the aeration tank. Okay, and then after we can simply separate it in a thickener or in a secondary clarifier by the gravitation, right? The large portion of the settled solid, usually known as secondary or activated sludge, and that can be recycled or returned to the aeration tank, and excess sludge is withdrawn from the clarifier under the flow of additional handling and disposal. The clarified liquor, known as final or treated effluent, is usually disposed into the stream. However, this effluent can be reused or reclaimed after the treatment system normally consists of following points. Here the 3 points are listed out. Number 1, the reactor, or we can say aeration tank, in which the microorganisms are kept in suspension by the mixing or aeration wastewater. Then second point is settling tank or a secondary clarifier, in which suspended solid biological flux from the reactor is separated by gravity settling. And third point is recycle stream to the return portion of the settled sludge, generally from the clarifier bottom of the reactor. Okay, second topic is removal mechanism, sludge removal mechanism. Okay, so in first paragraph we will discuss basic theory, its concept and basic theory, what is the activated sludge process, how it works, its mechanism. Okay, that portion we have covered in our section, right? What is suspended activated mass and how it work, what is activated sludge. Now the second is removal mechanism. It's removal of particular colloidals and disposed solids of wastewater is normally carried out as a describe below. ઓકે, તો આ પેરેગ્રાફની અંદર બેઝિક ઓવરવ્યૂ મેકેનિઝમને ડિસ્ક્રાઇબ કરવામાં આવેલ છે. ફર્સ્ટ, ધ રિમૂવલ ઓફ કોલોઇડલ એન્ડ સોલિડ ઇન ધ સસ્પેન્શન ઇઝ ડન બાય ધ ફિઝિયોકેમિકલ એબ્સોર્પ્શન. કયું? ફિઝિયોકેમિકલ એબ્સોર્પ્શનથી. On the activated biomass by the enhancement in the biological flux. Therefore, proper mixing of wastewater with biomass is essential, right? Then soluble organic solids are removed by the biosorption methods by the microorganism and then by the biodegradation or a biodecomposition, we can say, and stabilization. During the biodegradations, then their biodegradations, decompositions, materials, right, that can be oxidized or organic solids, and the small fraction which is present in the soluble organic matters is can be synthesized into the new cell or a major fraction of solids that can be stabilized later on, and a part of the synthesis cells will undergoes the self oxidations, and which is known as auto oxidation of the anaerobious respiration, which is known as auto oxidations, right? In the reactor during the endogenous growth phase, the microorganism oxygen is required to reactor during the process, right, and which support the both synthesis and auto oxidation. Normally the oxygen need is supplied through the air by the aerating the wastewater, either by the surface aeration or by the diffuse aeration systems, and the aeration system is so designed that it is also support the proper mixing of the reactor content, right, and the generated desired microorganism flow in the reactor during the aerations. So the major process involved in the removal of colloidal solids organic matters are following points. Okay, so dissolution of the oxygens in the liquid or wastewater by the aeration, first point. Then turbulent mixing of the reactor wastewater biomass, or we can say written activated sludge. Third is adsorption of organic matters or substrate by the activated sludge processes. Then molecular diffusion of dissolved oxygen and soluble substrate nutrients into the activated biomass, or we can say biological flow. Then basic metabolism of microorganism cell synthesis, which is known as. Then bioflocculations resulting from the production of cellulose polymeric substrate during the auto-oxidation phase, right, and auto-oxidations of cell endogenous respirations. Then release of the carbon dioxide from the activated sludge mass, and the last is lysis of or decomposition of the dead cell, the last unwanted materials, the dead materials decomposition, right. So in this topic the removal of mechanism is explained, right. So exam point of view તમારે પહેલા શું કરવાનું છે કે explain the activated sludge process or a theory regarding the activated sludge process. તો તમારે અહીંયાથી સ્ટાર્ટ કરવાનું છે કોન્સેપ્ટથી. વોટ ઇઝ activated sludge process, how it works, its mechanismથી સ્ટાર્ટ કરવાનું છે, બરાબર, ASPથી. આ રીતે તમારા આ બધા પોઈન્ટ્સ નીચેના લિસ્ટ આઉટ પ્રોપર નોટ્સ બનાવીને લખવાના રહેશે, બરાબર. ઓકે, एक्टिवेटेड स्लज प्रोसेस ने रीयूज कर सके, रिक्लेम कर सके केवी रीते एना माटेना सिस्टम्सना क्राइटेरिया कया कंसिस्ट करे, तो आ त्रण तमारे लिस्ट आउट करवाना रहेशे, बराबर. त्यारबाद रिमूवल मेकेनिजम तमारे समजाववानुं छे आ पेरेग्राफना थ्रू, राइट. ओके, हवे आपणे जोईशुं टाइप्स एंड मोडिफिकेशन ऑफ एक्टिवेटेड स्लज प्रोसेस. एक्टिवेटेड स्लज प्रोसेसना टाइप केटला छे अने मोडिफिकेशन केवी रीते करवामां आवे छे बेस्ड ऑन ध एडवांस टेक्निकना आधारे. So number of the design configurations and modifications of the active sludge process are available today to treat the domestic and industrial waste, depending on the intended goal of the treatment, whether to remove only organic contents or to remove the nitrogen or a phosphorus along with the organic content. And however, two major types of activated sludge process which are mostly used in the field of and are described as a follow. Okay, the two methods we have to study in this topic. First is conventional activated sludge process, and then complex activated sludge process. Conventional and complex. Okay, first we will see the conventional activated sludge process, how it works in its mechanism. So this system consists of aeration tank and primary secondary clarifier as shown in the figure. Okay, see the figure, you can see here the raw wastewater or untreated wastewater is charged to the PC unit, right? Then here the aeration tank is provided, right? And then the final clarifier or secondary clarifier is also provided as a final treatment of sludge. So the influent from the settled influent, or we can say PST, fed to the aeration tank and mixed with the return sludge. Okay, which is mixed with the return sludge. See, the return sludge is again charged to the aeration tank. Okay, ફરીથી એને ચાર્જ કરવામાં આવશે એને સાઈડ. તો આપણું જે રો મટીરિયલ છે, જે રો વેસ્ટ છે, આ જે રો વેસ્ટ જે ચાર્જ કરવામાં આવે છે આની અંદર, એ અને બીજું રિટર્ન જે સ્લજ છે એ બંનેનું શું થાય છે, પ્રોપર મિક્સિંગ થાય છે. બંનેનું શું થાય છે, પ્રોપર મિક્સિંગ અહીંયા કરવામાં આવે છે, રાઈટ. ઓકે, ત્યારબાદ શું થાય છે આગળ, then mix with the sludge at inlet and end of the tank. The oxygen demand by the microorganism therefore is more initial length of the tank. The oxygen demand also increase with the stock load near the inlet, and so the synthesized biomass is also more near the inlet and but decrease with the length of the process systems, right? And the population, the process systems therefore hardly approach the relatively constant equilibrium condition similar to that of complex system. Okay, now the second subtopic of activated sludge process is complex mix activated sludge process. Okay, first of all, see the figure. Here is the figure of complex mix activated sludge process, right? So raw material is charged, the raw water or we can say waste water is charged to the bottom of the section of aeration tank. Okay, and it is mixture is treated in the settling tank and the final sludge is collected here. Okay, so this process is also designed as the influent from the PST unit and mix throughout the entire tank simultaneously as shown in the figure number 8.2, this one. And because of the complex mixing, here is the complex mixing incident, the organic loading is considered uniform throughout the aeration tank and the concentration of the reactor biomass is not affected. Okay, one important point is concentration here. So the concentration will not be affected by the stock loading, right? Therefore, the oxygen demand and microorganism growth are also assumed the constant. Okay, the oxygen demand here, the oxygen demand as well as microorganism growth is constant. Okay, that thing is constant here. Okay, so oxygen demand and microorganism growth is constant in case of the complex mix agitation activated sludge process, right? ઓકે, એક્ઝામ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂ તમારે આ ફિગર ડ્રો કરવાની છે. નીચેના તરફથી તમારે ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્ટને ચાર્જ કરાવવાનું છે. ઓકે, અને ઉપરના તરફથી તમારું જે મિક્સચર હોય છે, જે કોમ્પ્લેક્સ મિક્સચર એ સેટલ ડાઉન થાય છે સેટલિંગ ટેન્કની અંદર. ઓકે, ને અહીંયા તમારો ફાઇનલ ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્ટ મળે છે, રાઈટ? ને વેસ્ટ સ્લજ અહીંયાથી ડિસ્ચાર્જ થાય છે. સિમ્પલ ફિગર છે બંનેની અંદર. ઓકે, ઓકે, નેક્સ્ટ ટોપિક આપણે નેક્સ્ટ લેક્ચરમાં ડિસ્કશન કરીશું. તમારે આજે થિયરીમાં કેટલું ડિસ્કશન થયું આપણે એકવાર સમરાઇઝ કરી દઈએ છીએ. ફર્સ્ટ ચેપ્ટર જે આપણું છે એ ચેપ્ટર નંબર યુનિટ કયું છે આપણું? ચેપ્ટર નંબર 2, એક્ટિવિટી સ્લજ પ્રોસેસ ઓર સ્લજ ટ્રીટમેન્ટ પ્રોસેસ છે. એની અંદર આપણે કોન્સેપ્ટ તમારે પહેલાં એનું લખવાનું છે કે સ્લજ પ્રોસેસ કોને કહેવાય, એક્ટિવિટી સ્લજ પ્રોસેસ, એનું કોન્સેપ્ટ લખવાનું છે. ઓકે, એને એએસપી પણ કહેવાય. એક્ઝામમાં એ પણ પૂછે કે એક્સપ્લેન ધ એએસપી ટેકનિક ઓર પ્રોસેસ. એમાં તમારે થિયરી લખવાની છે એની, અને બેઝિક રિમૂવલ મેકેનિઝમ લખવાના છે, બરાબર. ત્યારબાદ એના ટાઈપ્સ લખવાના છે. તો 2 ટાઈપ્સની અંદર આપણે ક્લાસિફાઈડ કર્યું છે, કન્વેક્શનલ એક્ટિવિટી સ્લજ પ્રોસેસ આ અને કોમ્પ્લેક્સવાળી, બરાબર. તો આ બંને તમારે ફિગર ડ્રો કરીને સિમ્પલ સમજાવવાનું છે, રાઈટ. ઓકે, તો રિમેનિંગ પોર્શન જે છે આપણે નેક્સ્ટ લેક્ચરમાં આપણે સ્ટાર્ટ કરીશું, બરાબર, કમ્પ્લીટ કરીશું. ડિઝાઇન કન્સિડરેશન છે એનું સ્ટેપ બાય સ્ટેપ. ઓકે.